Why do women choose home birth? Let's look at the reasons. In this research study, they found that women felt that home birth was safer than hospital birth. They wanted to avoid medical interventions and procedures that are common in the hospital. Maybe they had a prior negative experience in the hospital. They had a desire for autonomy or control over decisions and choices. They wanted to give birth in a comfortable environment and privacy. And by the way, there's a link in the description to all of my references. So can you relate to any of these reasons? Let's look at some more. These women also felt like they could trust in the natural process of childbirth. They thought it was better for their baby to not be separated from them and that they could breastfeed better at home. They did have a desire to have a home birth midwife. They wanted freedom to get up and move around and change positions. They wanted a drug-free birth. And they wanted their family to participate in the birth experience and also have more time for that bonding together. A lot of women also wanted natural childbirth. They wanted spiritual benefits of being at home. They had a feeling of empowerment more when they were at home. They wanted a peaceful, calm, stress-free, gentle birth. And they felt like that it was easier to stand up for their rights if they were at home as opposed to being in a hospital situation. They didn't really want to get into a hospital situation where they had to really fight for what they wanted for their birth experience. And of course, they also wanted to avoid a C-section. So how about you? Do you want to be prepared and not scared for births? Just look in the description. I do have a link to get a discount on my childbirth education classes. So a lot of the reasons that these women chose home birth is actually backed up in the research. So in a lot of the research studies, they have found that there's less medical interventions in those planning a home birth, even if they ended up giving birth in the hospital. So for example, they had less labor induction, less epidural, less continuous electronic fetal monitoring, less delivery with vacuum or forceps. That's where the physician pulls the baby out. Less C-section and less episiotomy, which is where they cut to make the opening bigger in the perineum. Also, in the research, they found with home birth there was less perineal lacerations, less maternal infections. They also had a higher breastfeeding rate, like 93% in a lot of the studies. Also, the women had fewer vaginal exams, and they were able to be up, moving around, and being more mobile during fetal monitoring. Well, this was part 2 of my home birth series. Please check out the other ones. The next one would be Who Can Safely Have a Home Birth?